All right, we are kicking this off and having some internet issues today. Don't know if that's happening to anybody else. So I will start welcoming folks. And here we are. Hubert Lee is in the house. Hello, Hubie. I know we're having a couple of technical issues with
Hello there.
so welcome. All good.
The webinar has started.
Webinar's beginning. People are jumping in,
Nice.
saying welcome to a few folks, and Jim is here. Jim is in the house. Welcome, Jim. And Lars, great to see you, brother. So
Yes,
glad you
sir.
could join us. Dr. Art's in the house. Bridget's in the house. Andrew's in the house. Santi's in the house. Patrick's in the house. People coming in quickly. They're very good. We got some super cool stuff to focus on today, Hubert Lee.
Yes, sir. Tell us where you are. You're like Mr. Jet Setter.
Yeah. So I'm fortunate that our family has a beautiful home in Fort Lauderdale. And so I am, because it's quieter outside, sitting outside, but here's what it looks like around here. So anyway, for all of you who are in cold weather, I'm so sorry, but just sitting outside in the sun and looking forward to having some fun on this call and then maybe taking a walk down to the beach.
Awesome. So originally, a lot of people gave some great feedback and thanks for us focusing on the mind types in the last Mind Types After Dark session.
Mhm.
So um, I know because sometimes, it's an evening session, some people can't make that. Can you just, for their sake, because I had this as a request, can you just reiterate again the importance of knowing your own mind type and what the through line is and how that enables authentic messaging and how you actually use that as a gracious kind of way to talk about what you believe in, and specifically how when you state a limbic statement and you believe in something, people never are skeptical of that because it's what you believe in. That's kind of subtle. Can you explain that?
Correct. Okay, so that was a lot to unpack there. And for everybody's benefit, break down the pieces that you let me go piece by piece. Break it down here. Lars says it's snowing in Calgary. Awesome. I love Calgary this time of year, but a couple months ago, oh man, it's really cold over there. All right, so break that down for me again. Where do you want me to start? Because there's a lot of subtleties with what you just said, and I'm more than happy to share them and think they're important.
Okay. And actually, I see looking at the people on the call that a lot of these people were actually not on the Mind Types After Dark meeting last time. So if I may, let me just build up the context and then ask you the question again. Okay,
Okay.
so Richly, there are three steps to the partner attraction formula. Can you
Yep.
please just elaborate on the three steps again, and that'll start us off.
Yeah. So again, if we go back to let's kick it all the way back to an understanding of brain biology. Brain biology, which is my personal specialty, written 5 books on this, emotional intelligence, is all about, from a marketing perspective, understanding how people make decisions. Because if you understand how people make decisions, you can do the things that are going to influence people to make decisions in your favor, including obviously the most important decision, which is to buy your products, sign up for your services. In other words, to use the gift that you're giving to the world in a way that benefits them and profits you, right? That's the whole idea. So when you're talking about messaging, we're talking about messaging that influences decisions in your favor. Where does that happen? It happens in the limbic or emotional brain. So when people talk about that feeling space, that heart space, what they're talking about is the limbic brain, which actually is at the heart of the brain. It's a much more primitive, older part of the brain. The part that surrounds it, the neocortex, is all around the limbic brain, and that is the youngest part of the brain. It's only been around about 20,000 years. Now, obviously, that's a long time, but not compared to how long the species of Homo sapiens has been around, which is 200,000 years, 10 times as long. So at the heart of the brain is this thing called the limbic brain that is so powerful that it governs all the decisions that you make on an ongoing basis. Why is the neocortex important? because it's the thing that says, oh, the light is red, I'm supposed to stop. The light is green, I'm supposed to go. But it's not the thing that keeps you alive in a crisis. That's the primitive part of the brain, the fight or flight, the thing that urges you to do things and guides your decision making. So how do we tap into that? That's where limbic messaging comes in. In other words, messaging that targets the limbic or emotional brain. A lot of people might call it emotional messaging. They're probably not keenly aware that that's actually biological. It is completely biological. If you talk to the decision-making part of the brain, you're going to get a decision made in your favor. And by the way, the very best decision is yes. The next best decision is no. So you don't get your time wasted. The worst decision is the one that goes to the neocortex or thinking brain and then wastes your time. And that is, let me think about it. So when you're in the place of getting somebody to make a buying decision, what you want is to target that part of the brain. So the first part of the partner attraction formula is, let's use limbic or emotional messaging to get a yes or a no as fast as we possibly can. The second part is, what are the top 3 rules of marketing? We've said this over and over. I can't say it enough because people forget. The top 3 rules of marketing are: rule number 1, it's all about them, not about you. Rule number 2, it's all about them, not about you. Rule number 3, I know you guys are smart. You got it. Excellent. It's all about them, right? It is always all about them. So what do we want to do with our messaging? We want to make it first emotional, so it touches the decision-making part of the brain, and then make it all about them, because that's all they care about. They don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. That's why they're buying your product or your service, because there's something that you can do for them. That's it. There is no other reason. And then part number 3 is to make it super clear how they can partner with you. How do they buy your product? How do they sign up for your service? What do they do? In other words, a clear call to action. So emotional or limbic messaging, partner-centric copy that's all about them, and a clear call to action. And if you do those 3 things, you set yourself up for a massive victory over everybody else. So that was the first part of your question. What's the second part?
So that's excellent. Thank you. So the 3 parts of the partner attraction formula, the first part of that, the emotional messaging part. Okay, let's break that down for a second. There are 3 or 4 types of message construction formats that you recommend. Could you go over those, and then we'll be prepped to have my question answered again. Okay, so how do you do the form? There are many ways actually to achieve limbic messaging, but we recommend certain formulas. Can you just review the different formats?
Yeah, so what we're looking for is, as you said, Hubert, there are many ways of doing this, but let's talk about making it easy for ourselves, number 1, and number 2, making it easy to use AI to generate content that we can use, so we don't have to go through a long, protracted process to figure it out. So the 4 formats that we recommend are all invitations into a belief. So I'm inviting somebody into a belief. Think about every friend, every contact that you have that you appreciate. There's some commonality between you and them. And what we want to do is to invite people into that commonality so that they begin to know, like, and trust you, which then leads to a buying decision in your favor. So the 4 formats are: we believe statements. We believe in lasting relationships. We believe in protecting the environment. We believe in a strong family. Those are all invitations into a belief. If you believe that also, there's a commonality that is formed in that moment, which is the beginning of building trust and connection. Number 2, you deserve statements. You deserve to be heard. You deserve a fair shake. You deserve a place where you can feel safe. Oh, that's right. I do deserve a place where I can feel safe. I'm glad that Hubert guy, he gets me, because he's saying something that I feel also. We're in the same spot, man. We're bonding, right? Number 3, because something, insert the blank, matters. Because a beautiful blue sky matters. because a smell of fresh flowers matters, because integrity matters, because being successful matters, because being heard matters. Again, it's an invitation into a belief. If you believe that being heard matters, then of course you're going to go, that's right. That's exactly what that's my kind of people right there, my kind of people. And then number 4 is going to be picture a world where we picture a world where insert something that is common. We picture a world where integrity is a given. We picture a world where friendship grows every day. We picture a world where the environment is protected. It's an invitation into a belief. So if you use those 4, we believe, you deserve, because something matters, and we picture a world where you're going to put those invitations out to the public that you're addressing, and many of them are going to result in a, oh, I feel that way too. That's exactly yep, my kind of people, that Hubert Lee guy. So there you
Yes,
go.
and thank you for that. Now here comes some of the questions that were directed to us. So originally, the beauty of that limbic messaging, and especially those 4 formats, nobody ever disagrees with them. Meaning some people resonate to certain messages more, but it never raises an alarm ever. Okay, so it's very disarming that way.
That's
Okay.
right.
Now, specifically for we believe, if you choose a we believe statement and it's inarguable because that's what you believe, right? Now, but when you couple your belief statement with your mind type, as we started going into last time, people are asking, wow, that's super powerful. And the big light bulb moment was, you don't go and target what you think the public's mind types are. You focus on your own. And here's the question then. How do you make your understanding of your own mind type power your we believe statements? That was the original question.
Okay. So there's 2 pieces to this. Before we get to that original question, there's the understanding of why limbic messaging works that can come through the theory of relativity. It's all one thing related to another. So what do most people do? We have the fastest upload time, da 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 da. We have the most professional people in our office. We've been here for 35 years. We are the very best at da 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 da. What does that invite? It invites a says who, according to what, where's the data? In other words, it triggers a reaction that is exactly the wrong reaction you want. It triggers a reaction in the neocortex or thinking brain, which means they're not making a decision in your favor, and it causes a doubt because that is a declarative statement. Limbic messaging never has declarative statements. It's always, you deserve to be heard. It's a thought. It's a belief. You're right. I do deserve to be heard. We believe in lasting relationships. We do too. In other words, there's only one kind of relationship. It's lasting relationships. That's a declarative statement that invites, oh, really? Says who? Because I like kind of fleeting relationships personally. Sometimes there's a lot of relationships I don't want to be lasting in. Blah, blah, blah. In other words, we don't want that declarative type languaging, because when you do that, you invite a stop. You invite somebody to say, according to what, says who, where's the data, etc., as opposed to an invitation, which is because the environment matters. We believe in keeping the environment safe. That's right. And so it's very important to understand that not triggering the block is what gets somebody to start nodding their head in your favor. In other words, we're creating a yes state. We're inducing a yes state. So leaving that part aside, to your question of how do we tie in our own mind type to our limbic messaging, here's what most people mistakenly do. They try to figure out, who's my client avatar out there? What does that look like? Who are they? And let me figure out how I can talk to them the way they want to be talked to. So what does that mean? That means that I'm going to attract all kinds of people from out there in the spectrum of the world, including the good people that I want to attract, the ugly people that I don't want to attract, and the bad people, the good, bad, and the ugly. The reality is you only want the good. If you want to have a great business where you have a great relationship with all of your clients that is long lasting, that has longevity on it, then you have to attract the right kind of people. How do you do that? By flipping the paradigm and expressing who you are and what you stand for, what you believe, and inviting those people who believe what you believe to then raise their hand in your favor. And then the bond begins to be created. The know, like, and trust factor kicks in, and people naturally feel like they want to buy your product. They want to use your service. So does that answer your question there, brother?
Yes, sir. So it related to this, Bill jumped in with this question. When selling, does it help to be clear on their mind type so that your message will be heard by them?
So the answer is, and I want to say this nicely, it really doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. Because if you are very good at expressing who you are and what you stand for and what you believe, it's going to appeal to all different mind types that believe what you believe. In other words, it doesn't have to be your same mind type. It can be even somebody saying, because taking care of the environment matters. Now, to a rebel, how you do that or what that looks like might be dramatically different than what it looks like to a giver. But a giver and a rebel can both care about the environment. So it's much more about being super clear on who you are and expressing that as rawly as you rawly, there's a word, rawly, yeah, as genuinely and authentically as you possibly can.
Right. So Bill's saying I'm talking about using their keywords. So originally, this really makes me think of the number one illustration of this, which is you mentioned Rebel. It may be time to show the Harley ad again for everybody, because in expressing and the Rebel mind type is a good illustration, because most people are not rebels. Okay. But yet when they express it in such a strong, obviously sincere, well-crafted way, it doesn't matter that that's not your mind type. It's like, wow, this is a genuine company with a genuine message that has a genuine tribe that they catered to. And I may not be that right demographic, but I sure as heck respect them for doing so.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you think we can bring up that ad and show everybody?
Yeah, I think we can.
All that marketing
Now, we're going to have to listen to 5 seconds of the beginning commercial before we can skip to
yeah, 100%.
So
I love this comment from Lars Ridge. This is a gorgeous way to live authentically.
100%. That is absolutely right. So let me bring it up. And here's what I recommend. Turn up your volume. Turn it up as loud as you can. Just turn up the volume. Go for it. Here we go.
We believe in going our own way, no matter which way the rest of the world is going. We believe in bucking the system that's built to smash individuals like bugs on a windshield. Some of us believe in the man upstairs. All of us believe in sticking it to the man down here. We believe in the sky, and we don't believe in the sunroof.
Oops, sorry.
We believe in freedom. We believe in dust, tumbleweeds, buffalo, mountain ranges, and riding off into the sunset. We believe in saddlebags, and we believe that cowboys had it right. We believe in refusing to knuckle under to anyone. We believe in wearing black because it doesn't show any dirt or weakness. We We believe the world is going soft, and we're not going along with it. We believe in motorcycle rallies that last a week. We believe in roadside attractions, gas station hot dogs, and finding out what's over the next hill. We believe in rumbling engines, pistons the size of garbage cans, fuel tanks designed in 1936, freight train-sized headlights, chrome and custom paint. We believe in flames and skulls. We believe life is what you make it, and we make it one hell of a ride.
We believe the machine you sit on can tell the world exactly where you stand. We don't care what everyone else believes. Amen.
That is so
It's just so good. It really is.
You
So
can watch
great.
that over and over again. Here's a comment from Bridget. This is my most favorite commercial with limbic messaging. Even though I don't like motorcyclists, I love their commitment and a great ending. And Lars said chills.
Yeah,
So Bridget,
it's so good because
it works on so many
No.
levels. I know that you have some favorite parts that you want to go over. Please do.
well, I mean, to me, it just so drives home the point. If you happen to relate to any of that, you have a different feeling about Harley Davidson. Now, and talk about the difference between it touching the neocortex and the limbic brain. So imagine that you do all this research on motorcycles. And after doing all this research, you decide, you know what? I'm getting myself a Yamaha 750. All right. And you get it because it goes from 0 to 60 and this man gets this much miles per gallon and it gets all this stuff. And you got your Yamaha 750 and it's sitting in your driveway and your buddy comes over and says to you, dude, you went with a Yamaha? Man, why didn't you get a Suzuki? And all of a sudden you begin to doubt every piece of analysis that you had going on because it was all in your thinking brain. Oh, how much gas does it get? How fast does it get from 0 to 60? How long does it last, etc. When people buy a Harley, it's because we believe, some of us believe in the man upstairs, and all of us believe in sticking it to the man down here. We believe the machine you sit on can tell the world exactly where you stand, to the point where nobody would ever walk up to someone who just bought a Harley and say, hey man, why didn't you buy a Honda? Because the statement is so declarative. It's so clear. Hey, I'm part of that movement. I want me a hog that's loud, that makes a lot of noise, and I'm gonna get me some black leather jacket and some chaps and some stuff. And maybe even, I feel so strongly, I'm going to tattoo that on my arm right here, Harley Davidson, and wear it proudly. That's ridiculous. It's a totally different experience of a product than somebody who does a bunch of research and figure out which one gets them the most mileage.
Excellent. Excellent. This is a prime example of limbic messaging specifically tied to an underlying mind type, in this case, rebel. So anyway, I just wanted to illustrate that. That's what I meant with somebody asking about what's the through line between the mind type and through to the limbic messaging, right? And so thank you for your explanations of that, Ridgely. I think that was great. I think that last 15-minute segment there is a great foundational catch-up on our whole methodology.
Well, and to Bridget's point that she put into the chat there, she doesn't even like motorcycles, but she loves that commercial. Now, if you were to dig a little deeper, what did she love the commercial? You'd get to the place of saying, I love how authentic it was, how genuine it was, and how clear the message is. It is so clear that if I watch that commercial and it resonates with me, and I ever want to go buy a bike, it's going to be a Harley. That's what you want, because you really don't want people in your business who don't get you and don't resonate with you. They're just a pain in the butt. And just to bring home the point, who here, give me a Y in the chat, can think of, off the top of your head, a client that you've had, hopefully in the past, that's just like, oh man, every time you saw a text come in from them, it's just, oh no. If the phone rings and it's them, it's like, oh, geez, the worst. And it literally makes your stomach sink a little when you have any contact or even a memory of that person, right? And that's legit. You don't want people like that. They sap the life out of you. The way that you attract great people to your business is by becoming an expert at expressing who you are, so that those people have the right to raise their hand and say, I want to hang with Hubert Lee.
Exactly. That is so well said. And also the converse is so true. When you have those perfect clients in whose eyes you can do no wrong, oh my God, that's a gift, virtually. That is such a gift. That's a gift to the point where you're thinking, oh my God, I feel bad charging this person, the way I do. It's like, I mean, because they make it such a joy to do what you do.
And even those that appreciate paying you, man, like, no, we love the service that we get. We understand reciprocity. We appreciate what you do, and we have no issue sending the check. I love that.
Exactly.
So,
And also too, it's you know what, at the end of the day, why it makes you feel so good is because then when you have the right match to your client, the whole imposter syndrome thing that holds so many of us back just like disappears. It becomes a non-issue because
yeah.
they bought you the way you authentically express yourself.
And one last point on this. And if you do that and you stick to your authenticity and your genuine self, you never have a bad meeting. Some people may disagree. They may agree to disagree. They may have different viewpoints. But if you're coming from who you truly are and genuinely expressing that, nobody has an issue with you. Hey, man, we may not be the right fit for each other, but hey, I know somebody you might want to work with. I do that all the time, man. If I'm not the right fit for people, especially because outside of our mastermind, which is inexpensive, the rest of our services, Hubert Lee, are expensive. I mean, they're not for anybody. I mean, our lowest contract is what, $50K a year. It's like about at the bottom end. If I'm talking to somebody and it's obvious that we're not the right fit for them, I'm immediately thinking, who else can I point them to? What other resources can I give them? What things can I do to support them in some way so that they get the result that they're looking for? Makes life really good.
Yeah, great. Okay, 2 comments here on the chat. Just want to catch up on. Bridget said, I have a newfound respect for motorcycle riders now from this commercial. One thing I'll also say about the commercial is if you go back and listen to it, what makes it great is several levels of mastery there. The copywriting in it, Richly, is incredible.
Yeah, it's really good.
The
Really.
imagery that it evokes, that the words evoke, it's like image after image after image, while you're also absorbing images, and sounds listening to the video. So it's just so multi-layered. It's just
And
incredible.
it's totally worth going to YouTube and type in Harley Davidson We Believe commercial.
Mhm.
Crank it up. And if you have a big, huge screen, put it on a big screen and watch it. And you'll see the way the dog turns this way, the way the guy turns with a cigarette in the mouth and the cigarette moves, the way the guy leans up against the garage and picks up his leg, the way the girl turns. There's so many moments that are so good. And I've watched this thing 500 times.
Right,
And I
exactly.
still love watching it.
Right, me too. And Bill earlier mentioned keywords. When you have keywords, communication keywords, and that's a whole concept that we'll keep exploring, tied to certain mind types, even though they're coming, they work on you, and you never get sick of watching it. Right? There are a handful of these commercials, these limbic messaging commercials, that Ridgely and I just like every time we watch it, we see something new. Coldwell Banker's another example. They're just artful.
Yeah.
Okay. Bridget says the editing is super artful. I've watched it 499 times. Okay. Dr. Art, going back to our statement earlier, said, reminds me of a guy who bought a hot Porsche and a jacket and then had to have me teach him how to use the clutch without stalling it when the light turned green. Yeah.
So Hubert, I was reminded yesterday,
Yes.
I don't know how this came up in conversation with my wife about when I was first learning how to drive a clutch.
Mhm.
And my dad had this great idea that I could go work for a construction company that he was a minor investor in during the summer when I was 15. I didn't yet quite have a license, but they were going to teach me how to drive a bulldozer because it goes really, really slow.
Right.
And then somehow that didn't work out. So I got stuck on a steamroller, a giant steamroller with one of those huge wheels on the front. And you sit up on the top and like a tear, and you have to go like this.
Yeah.
And it goes super slow. So they figure this is no problem. This is safe. It's all good, etc. But they forgot to tell me about the part that front wheel is really, 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 really heavy, really heavy. And if you come to a hill and you don't start applying the brake immediately, that some bitch is going to take off. And you're going to be barreling down the hill with a thing in front of you that weighs 700 tons or whatever the hell it is. And I got to tell you, it's a good thing that hill had a nice flat layaway after that, because I was down this thing
That's
trying
funny.
to stop the steamroller. Hilarious. Anyway,
I got to tell you 30 seconds of my learning how to drive a clutch story. So this was back in, I don't know, the 90s sometime. I was the proud owner of a 1980 Ford Fiesta manual transmission car that I paid $200 for. And I didn't know how to drive a clutch. And the best way to learn, unlike Dr. Art's story about, buying the Porsche and trying to learn it on that, when you have a car that's 1 billion years old and you can see through the floorboards, okay? And this was the most liberating car ownership experience ever, because I always figured, you know what? If this thing conks out on me, and I was the last owner of it, by the way, I would just leave it by the side of the road and just walk away. It was like
walk
so.
away.
But I learned how to drive a shift on this thing, and by the time I became the owner of it, it was so sloppy that you actually didn't need very much to use the clutch ever. You could just feel from the stick originally slipping it into the gear just based on the throttle alone. It was like incredible. Just a piece of junk car is the best way to learn a clutch on.
Unbelievable.
Yes. Okay. So back to work now, folks. If you have any hot seat type items, please be prepared to ask us. I do want to address one thing that Lars had mentioned in terms of setting up as a new account. And so, originally, may I share my screen and
Of
just
course.
walk through a couple of things for the newer members? Okay. So let me just give the highlights of this. Okay. So, folks, if you look at your onboarding materials, you'll find all kinds of instruction about how to get to your portal and all of that. But for me, I set up a redirect that works for everybody. Partnerattractionformula.com/mastermind, right? Is always the best place to start. You go there, and when you see the awesomely authoritative Mr. Ridgely pointing at you, you can sign in. And let me sign in with my account here. Okay, here we go. And we're going to sign in. And Richard, you had wanted me to show this last time, and so I'm glad we have the time now to do it. You'll see 3 courses or tiles or whole ecosystems relevant to your membership in our mastermind. Okay, we have, and last time, Richard, this is the tile here that we wanted to show last time. This is about how to discover your mind type. Okay, a whole thing about what it is, the introduction, the fact that there are 7 of them, each of them has 7 superpowers and 7 kryptonites, and the impact of mind types. And then we deep dive into each mind type, the overview of the mind type, the keywords of the mind type. And so, just to show you the layout of it, there's a great Ridgely video right here that you will have a lot of fun watching. Remember this, Ridgely? We had like a heck of a time with it was so enjoyable filming this entire thing, and all the secrets are here, right? And then it goes through the giver, the connector, the problem solver, the innovator, the perfectionist, the rebel, and finally the master. So it's all in here. Any question that you want answered about your mind types is in this course, this section here called Discover Your Mind Types. Okay. Now, the next section here, well, actually, let me jump to the 3rd section here, the Partner Attraction Formula Portal. Okay. Knowing your mind type, you can actually use it both for yourself and for your company and go through a whole exercise leveraging the mind types worksheet, the Partner Attraction Formula worksheet, where we actually go through the whole thing and show you how to use the worksheet to compile a whole thing and do a team exercise with your team and educate yourself and your team about, how the mind types work and discover your mind type and all of that. So there's a whole type of thing here that actually you can use to come up with it's a guided experience that helps you come up with your limbic messaging. Originally, you do these workshops all the time. We charge big money for these things. The last time you and I did it in person, we went up to Montreal and we had a bunch of fun with the company over the course of 2 days. And we walked through this and it was an incredible thing. But can you just explain the concept of the worksheet and this section, the partner attraction portal, and why it's valuable for a company?
Well, because it walks you through the ability to define why you do what you do, the essence of what you do, your core values, your vision, in other words, how you make the world a better place. It then helps you to create your limbic messaging, create your taglines, and literally then what to do with all that messaging across all of your online properties. So it literally is almost like a business in a box kind of thing for complete messaging and marketing for your business or your company. And then the beautiful thing is you do any of that, you bring it to us here on the mastermind, and we're going to refine it and optimize it. Literally meaning that you have the tools to have an entire marketing department that is headed up by your chief marketing officers, Hubert Lee and Ridgely Goldsboro, as well as brilliant experts at communication like Bill Straubinger, who helps us, wizards with graphics like Bridget Callahan, people who are great at helping you discover your mind type like Linda Rosh. And there's a whole series of resources that you have that can take you so far. And as mentioned, many times, this is one of the ways in which you and I, Hubert, have decided to give back, because this is not a primary money maker for us. It's much more of a, hey, how do we help the world really get their message out, get their products and services in a way that they can touch a lot of people. And I do want to make sure that we get to a little bit of AI stuff here. So before we run out of time, bro.
Okay, we definitely will. So here's my answer to Lars's question about setting up the AI tools specifically. So this section here, it's called the AI Mastermind Vault. And again, it's this middle section here. And basically everything related to the mastermind that you need will be in here, including the upcoming call schedule, all the recordings of the calls, including transcripts and everything else. Is super valuable. And I recommend, if you want to dive more into mind types, check out the most recent Mind Types After Dark episode. And then we have the Partner Attraction Formula AI Brain, which I'll explain in a second, as well as what the aforementioned worksheet. And then we have, how many messages are in the Message Hall of Fame originally? Like actual limbic messages? Hundreds, like 500. Yeah. Then we have Ridgely's private prompt library. This is like gold, because these are all of Ridgely's like tricks that he does, with ChatGPT. And then I have Hubert's hacks here. Okay, let's dive into this section right here and answer some of Lars' questions. Now, Lars, I assume you got to this section here, and I just want to mention a couple of things and then, guide you kind of through this whole thing. So there are 3 pieces of software related to our mastermind in terms of AI tools. And we have the PAF AI Brain. We have the PAF AI Images software. And brand new for everybody. And Bridget, as promised, you were the first one to get access. Check your emails. Announcing access to our PAF AI Copy software as well. And just to kind of show you what each of those look like visually, the PAF Brain login is here. The image login is here. And the copy login is here. Now, in order to set these up, which was the question that Lars had, each of these have a link. So if you want to, go and check set up the AI Brain, you click it, and it generates a token for you, and then you go here and you set up an account. Once you set up your account, you can share your account login with your team and have everybody use, your account, no problem. Okay. Now, this is the front end access after you set up the account. Now, here's the trick here that's a little complicated for people. Okay. You have to set up one time an OpenAI API key. Okay, if you don't have an OpenAI API account, you have to go and create one. So if you go and look at openai.com, okay, now if you have set up a ChatGPT account, you have an OpenAI account. Okay, now note that in the login section here, when you click openai.com's login, you're asked to select between, oops, I'm logged in, and that's why this is, let's just, oh, golly, it's not working for me, but I can show you in the documentation that I have. This panel right here. So Lars, if you go to openai.com and when if you missed this gateway page here, you can log out and then log back in. The left side is how you log into your ChatGPT Plus account. The right side is how you log into your API account. When you get into your API account, and there's some explanatory information here about the costs and so forth, it opens up a whole world of using their sandbox, and it's much actually less than the $20 a month that ChatGPT charges, which is actually quite inexpensive as well and well worth it. But you would go into the API section and you create an API key, okay? And you select the API option, and if you follow all of this stuff, you'll get the best tips for it. Several people have said, oh, I got stuck, and then when they went through and literally followed it sentence by sentence, they were able to get through. One sticking point that some people get to is this business about like not having the billing set up that opens up ChatGPT 4. Okay, so if you log into your account and you don't see the option to choose ChatGPT 4 in the sandbox, then you're not getting it right. And hit us up again, and I'll personally, walk you through it, and just to kind of see if you're hung up on a certain spot, right? So then you get to the API key, you generate it, and then once you're logged in, you go to the profile of our software, and then you paste in your API key. Okay, always keep your API key secret. If it gets out in the world, people can start using it and run up charges on your account. Same goes for the AI images software, and same goes for the AI copy software. So I just wanted to kind of give you that kind of overall guidance, and hopefully that's helpful. Okay, Ridgely, can you take the screen share back? I don't see my button to stop share. There we go. Okay, so that was a bit mumbo jumbo-y, but it's a little bit of a pain that everybody goes through at the beginning. So
well, and then the great thing is that it really is kind of goofy that, first of all, $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus is super cheap, but this is actually cheaper. So it is a Hubert hack, if you will, on how to really get your ability to use AI down to a minimal cost.
Right. Now, I showed 3 pieces of our software. Okay, we consider these our AI partners and members in the mastermind, which is kind of a cool concept. Okay, and we've actually engineered these pieces of software to work on a one-click basis, meaning you enter minimal information like dropping in, your URL or something like that, and then you can actually click to choose generate Limbic messages. Now the point is, originally, it's not a one and done thing. Actually, the output is pretty darn good, but what we always encourage them is to take that output and then bring it to these meetings, get on a hot seat, and develop it further. You want to kind of explain that process, Rich?
Yeah. So what I love about ChatGPT or any AI, whether it's Bard or some of the other LLMs or LALMs, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on out there, and it changes all the time, is that it is very precise. It's going to give you what you tell it to give you. And the more adept you become at telling it what you want, the better your output's going to be. But that precision comes at a cost. And the cost is the human factor, the heart space, the feeling space that is tied directly into all of the limbic messaging stuff that we do. So when you use one of our tools, and they're incredibly powerful, and Hubert is always updating them to make them more powerful. Sometimes I see stuff in there that I've never even seen before because Hubert didn't tell me he put it in there. which is awesome. Happens a lot, actually. And you're going to get an output based on what you put in there. Even if your prompts are excellent, even if you come to the mastermind on a regular basis and you watch us play with prompts and use prompts, and which prompts are nothing more than instructions to the tool, right? They're how does the tool serve you is a prompt, basically. What you're going to find is it doesn't feel exactly right. Maybe the block of copy, even though the block of copy is actually excellent, but it looks too thick. Like the human brain doesn't want to consume that much. You should break that down into a couple of sentences, or you should do, in other words, there's a feeling that the human brings to it that must be added to make the copy really effective and really helpful. And that's why this mastermind is so valuable. You can go create copy on your own using our tools, literally one-click copy. You can tweak it and play with it, and then bring it back to the mastermind and let us together, not just Hubert and Ridgely, but Hubert, Ridgely, and all the mastermind members comment and say, hey, well, what about this? And have you thought about this and whatever? And then you become the ultimate decision maker on exactly what feels right to you. And that's where the authenticity comes out. And I promise, authenticity is the new currency. The more authentic you can be, the more everything is going to resonate with the people you're trying to talk to, the bigger the results you're going to have.
Excellent. And I invite anybody that has any homework or leftover analysis that they need from previous hot seats to jump on right now. We have 12 minutes left to our meeting. Maybe we can even have, Ridgely?
I was just wondering if you could go to AI copy, because I don't think that we've done a good enough job at sharing how ridiculous this thing is.
So let's
do
it.
Ridiculous.
Let's do it. We can invite somebody to provide us with a business idea or something to do that. So let me just get to it. So
yeah, because
this is brand new, everybody. PDF
brand
copy.
In a matter of it's in the days of brand new.
Okay, so here we go. So again, it looks deceptively simple, but I can assure you there's all kinds of complexity behind it. Okay, so you hit create copy on the left side here. And then, so I'm just gonna say mastermind example. Okay, I'm gonna choose an AI model. So I'm gonna choose, let's just choose GPT-4. And by the way, Lars and everybody else, if you entered your API key and you see that you get the 3.5s, but you don't get any of the 4s, that means your billing is not right. And you have to just read through the instructions again and pre-funded with a pay-as-you-go $10 a deposit, and it'll open up all these ChatGPT 4s. Now here is where we've done some, preceding with all these different types of things that you can create. This stuff here is very cool because you can choose a copywriter to emulate, Dan Kennedy or Frank Kern and so forth, or you can choose a framework. We've chosen a couple of popular ones here, and then you could do some more mundane type stuff here. So originally, what do you want to play with? You want to do a Frank Kern style of sales copy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So now, then, this is not quite one click. It's like we ask you to put some certain things in, and then it'll generate something. So Richard, do you want to come up with an example? Do you want to ask somebody in the chat?
Yes, anybody want to raise their hand? We can pop you in here and do something real quick, because it is kind of ridiculous. You pop these things in there and all of a sudden everything comes out. If you're interested, pop a message into the chat saying, hey, I'd love you to work on my stuff for a minute, and we can come up with some stuff, and obviously we will then send it to you. If not, I'm going to come up with a business from scratch.
Cool.
Okay. So going once, going twice, going 3 times. Here we go. Okay. So here, I have to show you something. This is, hey, stop the screen share for a second. I want to show you something.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
You know what this is? This is an iguana deterrent. Okay.
It's a what deterrent?
Iguana.
Ah, okay. By the
Okay.
way, Susie says I unfortunately have to go for a meeting, but definitely love to do it next time. So let's reserve a hot seat for Susie. And
Okay.
Bridget is volunteering. Bridget is volunteering today. So you're gonna have to put your iguana, patrol idea on hold, Ridgely.
Okay. So we'll bring Bridget up for a second. You're saving me. Hey, man, I haven't seen an iguana. I thought this thing was really cool, but I haven't been able to do anything with it because no iguanas are showing up around here because my brother has scared them all away
There you go.
with his iguana deterrent thing.
Okay,
All right.
Bridget,
So we're playing.
great to see you again, Bridget.
Yes, long time no see.
Yes. So after we
All
walk
right,
through,
pull up.
I'll pull up my screen again. After we pull up this example, Bridget, you can, you have you have my email about how to set this up for yourself, and
Yeah.
as does everybody in the AI vault.
Okay.
All right, go for it. Let's do it. What are we doing, Bridget? Let's fill these things out. Give us the stuff.
Yeah, I'm working with a new brand for my not brand, but a product for my company. And I'm trying to find the document because I forget what I keep calling it.
Let's come up with a campaign title right at the top.
Yeah, it's about website. It's like a website in a day, so to speak, or building a website that's rock solid, that doesn't they don't have to worry about for the next 5 years.
Okay, what's the product name?
I have to find it. I keep forgetting.
That's how compelling it is, Ridgely.
I know.
Okay, that's not giving me the confidence that I normally like to have, but okay, all right, Bridget, is all good. Who's our target audience? We'll come up with you while you're looking.
Mid 50s entrepreneurs who are on their last leg of their business and wants to grow it to where they can work it for 5 years and then retire.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. I found it. It's called Elite Coach Launchpad.
Okay, interesting. All right, let's just go through the process. Go for it. Desired outcome.
Their desired outcome is to have a flawless website that brings in
Have a what?
flawless website that elevates their brand, perfectly conveys their marketing, and brings in a massive amounts of potential, clients or prospects, whatever.
Okay.
And the time frame is like how long?
Mm-hmm.
The program I'm looking at is 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Pain points.
I don't know what to say on my
Ridgely, feel free to interject as well, Ridgely. I'm sorry.
Pain points is fear of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of sales. Too much work.
Mm.
Complexity.
Mm-hmm.
Good at
Like
this.
those from Lars. Confusion, overwhelm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough time. That's good.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Unique
Yes,
selling proposition.
Here I got forget your website, fuel your growth, or forge your website, fuel your growth. Fuel.
Fuel your web.
Forge.
Forge your website, fuel your
Fuel
growth.
your growth.
Okay.
Wait, but what is the unique selling proposition you're offering though?
Complete website, function, flawless website that meets.
Complete website that functions on its own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Give you some
Sounds-
features and benefits.
Membership area, collect leads, landing pages. What do you call it when they have FOMO? you know, the timer, you know, it'll create that urgency.
See?
Hmm. Beautiful landing pages that convert.
Okay. Okay. What's the realization, the epiphany and turning point?
When they have it, or when they discover that I could do this.
The second, yeah. Like,
I think that's the, I think that is the epiphany.
Oh my
Wow.
God, where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
how should I express that, Rich?
Wow, comma, I can actually do this.
Mm.
Okay.
Supporting stats.
You'd have to do some research for that. Okay. And then the case study. So just imagine that you have supporting stats, and just imagine that you have case study, and we'll put in a testimonial.
I do have a testimonial.
Okay, cool.
Or you put it in the chat.
Yep.
And then tell me the offer components.
Where is it? So the first part is business strategy and branding.
Okay, hold on.
Now, obviously, we got to put a little bit of time into filling in the blanks, right? But when you see what happens after filling in the blanks, it's kind of almost amazing.
And website development. And then mastermind for their curriculum development.
Okay. And what's the guarantee?
Within 3 months, if they don't love it, they can leave it.
All right, let's state it simpler for the time being. Let's say is there like a 30-day guarantee or something, or
I don't know. We won't be done in 30 days, so I don't know if they can judge it.
let's skip that for now, and then support details. Let's actually just hit the button. Originally, I'm just gonna hit generate content, Ridge. Here we go.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. It spins and spins and spins because it's putting in a call to Frank Kern right now. And then he's saying, "Leave me alone, dude."
In flip-flops.
Yes. That he bought in Neiman Marcus.
Oh,
Oh,
come on.
proprietary software, don't fail me now.
Yeah. And it's that time of day too, when there's a ton of people on the internet
That's
right now. So it's like, what?
Don't embarrass me now. Come on. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Jim's funny. Jim's saying that must be the joke of the day. Okay, so here we go, Ridgely. What do you think? You want to lead us through the reading of this?
Well, so notice, of course, obviously the first thing that jumps out to me is how much we could do with using some limbic messaging to really pop this in a great way. But what did the tool come up with? Pretty amazing. Hey, mid-50s entrepreneurs, are you fed up with fear of technology and lack of sales? Unlock the secret to a flawless website that elevates your brands in just 3 months without ever worrying about complexity, confusion, and overwhelm again. What? Discover the proven elite coach launchpad that provides a complete website that functions on its own and generates massive amounts of prospects, helping you expand your business faster and easier than you ever thought possible. Hey there, mid-50s entrepreneurs, right? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how good this is. Introducing the Elite Coach Launchpad. I've spent years perfecting the system, combining expert business branding, website development, and mastermind for curriculum development to create a powerhouse solution that's changing lives left and right. Membership area, lead generation, urgency creation, beautiful landing pages. Now I know what you're thinking, but Frank, I've tried everything. Believe me, I've been there. Spent years spinning my wheels until I finally had my light bulb moment. That's when I discovered the incredible power of a comprehensive strategy and what inspired me to create Elite Coach Launchpad, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's freaking great.
Wow.
It's
I mean,
kind
I've
of
done a lot of ChatGPT on this,
Mhm.
and it's nowhere near as good as this.
Really?
No way.
Okay, well then. Okay, well, there you go.
I
That,
need this tool.
I don't know, you have access, and
I know.
I'll also save those results and send those to you too, because as everybody knows, every time you hit, generate, it's a whole new world every single time. So
Yeah, yeah.
okay, so that's great. Couple of comments here, Dr. Art. It's good that all the boxes don't have to be completed to get results. Yep, that's great. Lars, thank you for that comment. This is incredible, he says. Hey, Linda, great to see you. She says powerful validation. Bill says great work, and Lars says well done, Bridget. Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is great stuff, man. And these tools are available to you. Remember the process, right? If we were gonna, and we could do it another time, when you go through the process initially, you put the time in, you hit click, you get an output, then you put your spin on it. But what if instead of just putting your spin on it, you also went to Ridgely's prompts, grabbed the limbic messaging stuff, ran the output through limbic messaging, grabbed the partner-centric copy prompts, ran it through that as well, and did a couple of other steps. So maybe you take 30 minutes of your time and then bring that to the mastermind next call. So our next call is, by the way, next Wednesday at noon Eastern time, noon Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. Next Wednesday, 24th is our next mastermind. So imagine that you spent 30 minutes doing something and it's phenomenally good. And boom, there it is. And then you go through, you get the limbic messaging, you get your partner-centric copy, and now you're fully dialed in and you're rocking it to the next level.
There
Awesome.
you go. And also, we always send people their way, Richly, with a joke.
All right.
Are you
Lay it
ready?
out.
Okay. A robot walks into a bar, and he says to the bartender, "Oh, I need to loosen up." So what happens, Richly? The bartender serves him a screwdriver. That's pretty good.
Oh, God.
That is
Okay.
pretty good.
That was not so bad. Okay. That was all right. I'll take that one. All right, guys. Have
Screwdriver.
a
Get it?
beautiful rest of your week. See you next week, obviously. And then,
Ah,
by the
Andrew
way,
says, and then he does the robot. Oh, see? The beauty of this mastermind?
I'm telling you, remember, support at partnerattractionformula.com. If you have something you want us to work on, we'd be delighted to do so. Support at partnerattractionformula.com. Send us an email saying, hey, can you help me with this? Love to be on the hot seat. However
Susie,
you want to express
we'll
that.
get you on the hot seat next time, Susie. Although she probably left. So originally,
All right.
I'm gonna get myself a screwdriver. You have fun chewing away the iguanas. And Bridget,
Okay,
install the
I'll do that.
software.
All right.
All right.
I will.
Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bridget, I'll
Bye.
be hitting you up in the next day or so.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Bye, guys. Ciao for now. Awesome. Appreciate you.